Hello.
Good morning.
Uh-oh. You're frozen on me again, Cherie.
Oh
I
no.
get
I
a
hope
feel.
it's
I've
not.
got a good feeling about this morning. Hello, Rich. Hello, Adam.
Hey,
Looks like
Rich.
there's
Hey, Adam.
Joanna, Kyriakos. We'll just give everyone a few minutes. Good morning,
Sure.
Gabriel. So, for those of you who are on here and not aware, Cherie and I, it's still dark outside because it's 5:30 in the morning here. Well, we're in the same time zone now, aren't we, Cherie?
We are, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Michelle, hello. Two favorite people. Cool. I'm privileged.
Aw, thanks, Michelle.
Um, so what we don't really, hey Petra, we don't really have well, there is a couple of things we're going to do. So a while back, for all of you, just in case there's some of you on my channel who don't know Cherie, I'm going to leave a link to her YouTube channel, the top note. I haven't even set up, do the description in here. I've been so disorganized. But she's got a great channel as well. But I'm sure that most of you um, probably, watch both of us at different times. So what we were going to do is Cherie, a while back, very kindly sent me a bag full of samples, right? And I think you sent me about 10 that were just numbered. The name
Yep,
wasn't on there.
correct.
I'm having problem. Yeah, and so what I did, I have already sniffed some and made notes, but I've saved a few to actually sniff on here for the first time and try and give you my impression. And that's what we're going to do. But then we can talk about anything else. We might get sidetracked by stuff. Who knows? Like we'll just let this conversation flow organically. And if anyone has any questions, I'll try and keep an eye on the comments, Cherie. So you don't have to. I'll do my
Because you
best.
know I'm really bad
Um,
at that.
yeah. So and I'm sorry. I've already warned Cherie that I'm a little bit hungover this morning, but I'm doing good so far. We're only 5 minutes in. All right.
And you have the world's biggest coffee.
I do. I do have the world's biggest coffee. Here we go. Um, just in case anyone's asking, I don't have a scent of the day on today because it's way too early. I literally just got out of
And
bed. Um,
you've
all right.
frozen on me, Pep. Can everyone else see Pep moving, or is it just me that you've frozen for?
You're the one from my end, in case you can hear me. You've frozen on me a couple of times, so
Yes, I
I'm not
have.
sure.
Okay.
If it, can everyone in the comments just let us know, who, if they're having any trouble with video or audio.
Oh, yeah, I can see
Oh,
you again
Petra,
now.
yeah, but Petra is saying I am. Ah, shit. This is not good.
You're not frozen now though, not for me anyway. So maybe it's just coming in
Hmm.
and out a bit.
All right. I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but yeah. Okay. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Okay.
All right. So I was wondering, Cherie, do you want have you got your list of the fragrances that you sent me and the
I
numbers
do.
and what they all are?
I do.
Um just read, sorry, I just got distracted by Kathy's comments. Um so I'll just get all the samples out. And you know what? I'm going to let you pick, the ones that you want me to smell, and it doesn't have to be in numerical order or anything like that. So, because the ones that you're most interested in me trying or give my impressions on.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, I was interested in your thoughts on number 8 because I had a
Okay,
feeling
number
maybe
8.
you might like that one, but I'm not sure.
All right. Just let me check. Just let me check in case number 8 is one that I've already tried. I'll just check my notes. Number 8, I haven't tried yet. So good. Okay.
Ooh.
Well, this will be the first time that I'm trying it.
Hang on, which ones have you tried?
I've tried number 10. Hang on. I've tried number 10, number 7, number 5,
Yeah.
number 1. What else was there? And I think I tried number 3 very early on, and number 2.
Right. Okay. Okay, cool. So,
All right, so I've tried a lot of them. Oh shit!
did it leak?
No, I just literally pulled the whole thing off, and I thought I'd spilled it all over myself. No, this is just comedy gold so far. All right, I'm just gonna spray it on some cards first and see how we go. Okay. All right, first of all, it smells like something that I've smelled before.
Hmm.
I'm trying to work out what this smell is. It's kind of, to me, it's a kind of spicy. Ah, I don't know. It's spicy and woody, peppery. Oh, is this? You know what this actually reminds me of? It's definitely peppery. So it reminds me of. Well, I don't think it is this, but it reminds me of. There's a perfume called from Villoresi called Piper Nigrum, black pepper. This
Oh,
is very
okay.
similar to that,
I haven't tried that one.
but there's
So, yeah, it's
also
not.
quite a bit of citrus, or that I can smell. Anyway, it's like kind of bright and citrusy as well. It's nice. I do like it.
Mm. Do you get so is it frankincense that you're smelling that you couldn't put your
It's
hang on,
every
you're
time,
trying number 8, right?
yeah, every time I smell frankincense, right? It's strange because sometimes it's really obviously frankincense, or really
Yeah.
like smoky resinous, and other times I always get a lot of the citrusy. I like this. So now that you told me
Mm.
it's frankincense, it's obvious, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's when I smell it without knowing, it's I almost pick up the actual facets of frankincense.
Yeah,
But
it is
it's
very
nice. It
bright.
is
This is
nice.
yeah, it reminds me of I have a frankincense essential oil and it's quite
Yeah.
bright smelling. It doesn't smell smoky at all. And this is what it smells like to me. So
Okay.
yeah, this is I mean that's what jumps out of this one for me is the smell because I used to diffuse frankincense oil a lot
Mm.
at night time through my house because it's supposed to be calming or something, which I do think it's calming. But yeah, so that's what it is a very bright, fresh frankincense, I think. Yeah.
So before
Yeah.
before you tell me what each perfume is, right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to have a go at trying to guess whether, it's expensive kind of niche or more
Oh, that's a good
affordable
idea.
designer?
Yeah. That'll be fun. Yeah.
Oh, you're frozen on me now.
Sure. It'll probably come back. I wouldn't worry too much.
Um, I don't smell actually a lot many designer fragrances that actually use a lot of frankincense, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'm just trying to think of any. Yeah, it's a good point. I don't think I have. There's none that's jumping out at me from memory either. This isn't. Yeah, but well, on that basis, I can probably tell you it's not a. It's not a designer.
All
But
right. Do you want to do the reveal of what number 8 is?
sure, sure.
I do like it. I do like it. I will say though, and I haven't tried, and obviously haven't tried it on my skin. I will say that it hasn't changed. It doesn't seem to have changed in
No,
the
it
few
is. It
minutes that
is
it's
quite
been on
linear,
there.
and in fact, I
Yeah.
don't. I don't wear this one by itself very much. I discovered a bit of a layering combo by accident a few weeks ago, and now whenever I wear this, I pretty much just um, I just wear it with
Where it
something.
was something.
I layer it, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't often wear this on its own. It's just one of those ones where I bought it because it has. I smelled it in store and I just loved I guess the sensation it brought back for me because I used to diffuse frankincense a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, it's L'Autoire by Diptyque.
Oh, oh, that's awesome
So
because I've actually been really wanting to try
oh,
that
there you go.
perfume.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really like
You
it.
know what? Yeah, I like it. I mean, it does smell nice, but you have done me a huge favor, Cherie, because I came this close to blind buying that perfume a while ago, um,
Yeah.
just because a lot of people were raving about it. And
Hmm.
as nice as it is, and I'll use up this sample on my skin and see how it goes. But I'm kind of now glad that I didn't blind buy it because
Excellent. Well, that's what it's
like
all about.
the yes, yes. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
so
All
when
right,
I wear
that's
this
good.
one now, I tend to spray it on a scarf, and then I'll wear the other one that I like to layer it with, I guess, on me. So that way I can take it off if it gets too much. But I don't really find that it gets too much. But yeah,
Mm.
it's just one that I like to smell. Mm.
It's very pleasant. So what other do you know what other notes it's supposed to have in it?
Off the top of my head, no.
I can look it up later.
I was going to be organized last night and put down little notes next to each one just to remind myself what the main scent profiles were, because some of these I haven't actually smelled for a while. So, but no, I was a bit lazy and I didn't do that.
It feels like there's like lavender that comes out as well, or something sort of softer and florally, like that. You know, that early spiciness that I was getting has kind of died down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll type out the name, Rich. Um, let's see. I'll just put it in the comments.
Yeah. So it's rosemary and myrtle,
Okay.
myrrh, spices, caraway.
Yeah,
Um,
actually,
Lots of myrrh
well,
too, like
I
myrrh again in the
I
base.
wouldn't have been able to guess. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to guess the type of spices. There's definitely spiciness in there.
Mm,
Yeah, I get that herbal stuff.
yeah, and pine
Okay.
tree, apparently. That was the other thing
All
that
right.
attracted me to it, is I do quite like a pine note occasionally.
That's actually quite nice. So where did you buy that from here? Do they sell, they don't sell that at Mecca, do they?
Uh,
Or
yeah,
did you get that online?
so it's from Mecca. Yeah, yeah, I did. I went in store
Oh,
and
okay.
I noticed that they got it in, and I noticed that they've recently got Orpheon has hit Australia as well. I've been waiting for that to come here because I really want to try it. But now I'm too scared to, because if I like it, I won't be able to buy it.
All right, cool. Okay, that's a good start. Le Trois.
That's how you say it.
Shall we
Thank
move
you.
on?
I'm pretty useless at pronouncing them. Yeah. Well, you pick the next one because I picked the first one.
Okay. Let's see.
Maybe pick one of the ones that you've tried and let me know what you thought of them.
Okay. I'm gonna pick number 7, and
Hey,
so
Esther.
this one. So I'm going to spray this again. I'll tell you what. Oh, that's really dried down so different to. So I sprayed on this card yesterday, and the opening was really, really different to what it smells like now. It's really nice, actually. Okay, so 7. When I first sprayed it on yesterday, what I noted down was that there was this really nice kind of citron opening. Something really. It wasn't like realistic lemon or bergamot. It was that kind of almost a candied kind of citrus, but also not sugary sweet. That's what I was picking up. But when it dries down, it's dried down into this really nice what smell like pink, to me, pink florals. I found this like really, really pretty. It's a really pretty scent, Cherie, this one here. It's probably not something that I would wear, but this would be something that I would really like to smell on someone else.
Yeah, it's really nice. I like this one. I haven't worn this one very much yet, but there's another one from this house that I wear a lot. So
and the other note that I put down on here is that when I was smelling this, you know how some perfumes can be a very transparent, like you can smell a lot of things at the same time. Here, the word that I used was opaque. Like it seemed very, and this is not in a negative way. It seemed like that opening was that really nice fizzy citrus kind of opening, but it was like very thick. And now that I smell, when it started to dry down, and more of the florals came in, it was the same. There's almost like there's something like very clean, musky that's in there as well. This is real. This is a really pretty. This is a really pretty perfume.
It's yeah. I'm glad you said musky because I feel like it is a bit musky as well. It kind of has that feel, and
But
it's sort of that enveloping kind of
yeah,
sensation. But I don't know if there's. I actually don't know. Well, it's not listed necessarily. It doesn't mean it's not in there. But yeah, I really like this one. But it's a shame. I'm glad I actually sent you a sample of this and that we're talking about it, because it has sort of reminded me I need to reach for this one more over the other one that I always gravitate towards. So
I have to say the dry down is really good. Like, I mean, it's not challenging or really unique or original, but it's just really well done. Like it's a really nice smell. Like no one would ever complain about smelling this on someone.
yeah, I agree.
All right, I'm curious to know
Amy,
what
we
this one is.
were talking about le tour. Is that how you say it? But that was we're talking about some other ones now.
Yeah, so Amy, that Latour was the first blind sample that we tried, and that's what it ended up being.
Okay, well, are you ready for the
Yes,
big
I'm
reveal on
very
this one?
ready for
I had a feeling.
number
I had a
7.
feeling that you would like this one, even yeah, even though it's not something you would necessarily wear. And I didn't pick these samples as things that I thought you would
Mm,
necessarily want to wear yourself, but some of them I was
yeah.
just curious to get your thoughts on. But this
Okay.
is Ombra Nobile by Nobile 1942.
Ah. Ah.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
So
That's really that is really interesting. So, if I'd gone by the name, I would have expected something a lot more. Do you find that it's not as ambery as you probably
yeah,
might have expected? Okay.
exactly. And I blind bought this because there was no way for me to get a sample of it. And there was a Base Note was having a sale. Oh, this was last year now, or
Yeah.
maybe even the year before. And so I blind bought it, and it turned out to not be at all what I was expecting. But I was really pleasantly surprised because I actually do have lots of ambery scents anyway. So
Hmm.
this is a lot different to what I was expecting, and I do like
But
it a lot.
it is not. It is nice. The one thing I will say though, is that if I was going to guess, like, because I mean, I really like this brand, and they're not super expensive either. But if there was one thing, if you'd force me to go, is this niche or designer, or like
Oh, I
I
forgot
I
to
would
ask
have
you
I
that.
might yeah I might have gone, maybe it's a really nicely done designer scent.
Mm, yeah,
It's good. It's good.
it is.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's just a very pleasant. It's kind of
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit of a crowd pleaser. Maybe not a crowd pleaser. I don't think it sort of sits in that genre, but yeah, I just it's sort of bright and fresh as
Oh,
and
okay.
fluffy and a bit flowery. Actually, that's a good question. I don't know if there's any. I don't know what the florals are in there. Oh, it's
Are you looking it
that's
up?
interesting. I am, and that's interesting. It's there's Immortel in here, which
Mm.
if I had looked at that before before I decided to buy it, I might not have bought it because
I
I'm not usually a
There's
fan of
nothing.
Immortel.
Well, and the thing is, like usually, as soon as you said immortal, like sometimes if I smell something, I find it, but I
Mm,
can't actually smell anything that would suggest that it's there.
yeah, I think there's
Maybe,
African orange flower, could be that, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Cool.
Um, did you want to pick a number, or should I pick something again?
Sure. What about number two? Oh, you've tried number two, didn't
Okay.
you?
Yeah, yeah. Number two. All right, so number two is interesting. Like this one here, although I didn't like it, the one thing that I got from it was that it was, to me, pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a lot of what smelled to me like, I'm just trying to find the card. What smelled to me like hazelnut liqueur kind of. See, and it's also disappeared off the card from yesterday. Like, compared to that last one, this one
Yeah.
kind of disappeared. So I'll just spray it again, and to me, hmm, there is a little bit. There is, what I've just noticed right then is that, there is a little tiny bit of a hairspray vibe about it. Like that reminds me of. It actually reminds me of a hairspray that my mum like might have used in the late 70s and early 90s. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, but I actually just smelt it then. And yesterday when I was smelling it, I definitely got some kind of tonka, nutty sweetness as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just the time of the day, but it's this morning it's not smelling as sweet to me, as it did yesterday. And it
Oh,
wasn't,
okay, that's
and I
interesting.
didn't, yeah, I didn't dislike it. Again, this is probably just something that is not to my current taste that I would actually wear.
Yeah, yeah.
but I
No,
but
this
I
is
would but I do think no, I'm not even going to try and guess because it doesn't actually remind me of anything else.
okay.
Like
I can't remember if
can't say this smells like, so and so or whatever. I've
yeah,
been
I
with
can't
that.
remember if it reminded me of something else or not
Mm.
when I first got it, because I've had this for a few years now. And I seem to remember thinking that there was something when I first smelled it that I thought it reminded me of something else. I might have to go back to my really early notes and see if there was anything.
This
But yeah,
this is not a
this is one that I've
Nikolai.
no, it's not a Nikolai.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Okay.
but you could argue that it's oh no, it's probably no, it's not. You could argue that it's actually a celebrity fragrance.
Oh,
Of all things. Do you want to know what it is?
yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, it's 811 Absoluto by Giovanni Antonelli Parfums. So
Ah,
Giovanna Antonelli is an actress, and she's released. They've done 3 perfumes with her. Yes, it does have a bit of a hairspray vibe. You're right. I hadn't quite maybe that's what it reminds me of. There you go. I love this one. I totally have been obsessed with it lately, and I've only got a little bit left,
I
so it's nearly done.
well, I have to admit something to you, Cherie, and we're talking like 4 or 5 years ago. I actually have smelled this before because I had
Ah.
I actually had the set. I was sent the set 211, 411, and 811, and I never
Mhm.
really tested them properly. I ended up giving them away, but I did smell this, and I do seem to recall that 811. I think either 411 or 811 was the one I liked the most.
Yeah,
Um,
411 was really nice too. I think that one actually reminded me a little bit of, Aromatics Elixir, like a really lighter,
okay.
more floral aromatics. Maybe it was that one or 611. I can't remember. There is one of them that sort of reminds me of that. But anyway, so yeah, that was that one.
All right. So just occasionally, if I see something in the comments, we can just take a diversion from the blind sniffing. But I
Sure.
thought maybe you could answer this first, Cherie. What are your thoughts on the Chanel Kia de Russie?
Do you know what? I haven't. I was just thinking about this one yesterday because I was thinking about all of the fragrances that I have that have a leathery tone to them. And it was because one of your comments on one of the ones you've sampled, I think you mentioned one of them was a bit leathery. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what else? I was thinking, oh, what other fragrances do I have that are leathery? And then I thought I had a sample of this, but I couldn't find it. So I went searching for it and I couldn't find it. I think I smelled it in store. I think I like it. It's like a green, isn't it a green leathery scent? I don't know. I can't remember really, to be
Um,
honest. Not
well,
that familiar with
my
it.
it's like if you smelled it again, you would definitely recognize the Chanel aldehydes and the florals with. So my thoughts, and I need to preface this by saying I have not worn Kia de Russie for extended periods, and like had decants and whatever. I have had the chance to sample the EDT version that a lot of people
Oh, okay. Yep.
like love and like fanboy over. But I actually prefer the current EDP version
Mhm.
of Kyoto, even though it's not one that like there's probably a few less exclusives that I would get before Kyoto. To be honest, like my first instinct when I smelled them was this is nice, but I didn't understand. I didn't get what all the fuss was about. It's
Mm.
perfectly good, like It's nice. It's to me, it's if you wear a lot of leather perfumes, it's actually not as leathery as a lot of perfumes because there's all that other Chanel stuff going on top
Yeah.
of it. And apparently, like every now and then people say, oh, but the parfum version is like really good as well. So like I don't have anything against it. I just it's probably not something I'd get a bottle of, put it that way.
Yeah. Well, I have a few from the Chanel line, but there are some in that line that are sort of, for me personally, that I don't like enough to spend the money on it, basically, because they are a bit pricey.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, fair enough.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I hope that answered your question, Saint Rick. All right, so shall we try? We'll try another one. We'll keep moving. Okay, so speaking of leather, you know what, Cherie? Let's try number 10 because
Okay.
out of the samples that I have tried,
hmm
to
I
me,
thought
number
this was the one
10,
you were talking about. Yeah.
yeah. So number 10, okay, so I'll I I noted here that was definitely prominent leather slash suede, and there are. It's very smooth. It's a very lush leather. There is also what I think are like some florals that sort of enhance it. I don't know what type of florals, but the interesting thing is that I immediately, on smelling this, and with leather, it's funny because I might have thought, oh yeah, I've smelled this before, but then I realized that there are a lot of leather perfumes that are kind of really similar because at some point a lot of leather accords are leather accords and they're going to smell the same in a lot of different perfumes. But then I remembered that I sent you a something a while back called Cure Eternel, right? And I wondered
hmm
if this was that, and you were trying to trick me into smelling something that I
Oh, hang on.
already had smelled. So I'm
Uh,
very, very curious.
is that the one you felt like you'd smelled it? So that was the one you were saying you felt like you smelled it before. So
Yeah,
I'm just going to
yeah.
plug my earbuds in because I think my headphones in because I think my earbuds are dying.
Okay.
Battery. Hopefully this works. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. Excellent. Yeah, sorry, my earbuds last about 5 minutes these days. I need to get new ones.
That's okay. So number
No,
10 is quite.
have that forethought to trick you.
All right, so then in that case, I'm really, really curious about what this is because this is like a really nicely done leather perfume. If
hmm
like I guess to me, based on what I'm smelling here, it seems pretty linear, like not a lot else going on, but it's kind of nice, luxurious leather.
Yeah, so I haven't worn this one ever myself.
Ah,
This is one that I put on Matt's side of the thing.
yeah,
I get lots of floral. I mean, yeah, there's obviously the leather in there. I get lots of florals in here too, and it's a rose. I think it's mostly rose. But there are other things in there as well. It's actually there's kind of a bit of a shopping. Oh, maybe. It's an interesting note listing. So the note listing is caramel, raspberry, orange, and then you've got rose, olibanum, patchouli, violet, and jasmine.
I don't know if I get
So
jasmine.
there's no liver. There's no liver in this.
Sorry, and then there's an amber,
Okay.
vanilla, and musk. But you've got the amber and
Oh.
yeah. Well, it doesn't say, but I don't know.
Oh, I'm definitely curious about what this is.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, this is Oud Touch by Frank Olivier. Hang on, I've got to figure out how to get this
Okay.
closer to the camera. Now, I feel really bad, but so somebody on Instagram sent this to me. You know him too. He hasn't been on Instagram for a while now, though, and I've forgotten what his name was. It's really terrible. I think he's pulled his Instagram account. I haven't heard from him for a really long time. He was making his own perfumes for a while. And he said he sent me out a sample of whatever he'd made, and then because he wanted my thoughts, and then it never arrived.
In Australia?
Yeah, I think he was might have been in Canberra or
Okay.
Or maybe Victoria. I can't remember.
Right.
Yeah, I think he might have been in. For some reason, I thought he was in Canberra, but he might not have. It might have been Victoria. But it's terrible. It will come to me. It will come to me. Hopefully, I'll remember because I feel really terrible. In fact, I don't think I ever really knew his real name because he kept changing the name of his Instagram, and the name that he gave me to post stuff to it seemed like a kind of like a nickname or something. It didn't seem like anyway, I could have been wrong, but he was lovely. I really liked him. And we used to talk a lot, but he hasn't been on Instagram for a long time now. So
I guess like I know that a lot of people talk about this one as, like an underrated kind of cheapy type fragrance, like is really good for what it is. And this type of kind of Western style oud, like accord, sometimes comes off as leathery as well. I mean, when I smelled this, all I got was that, to be honest. But it was actually really nice. I mean, it is nice.
Yeah, I get sort of like a suede note, a suede feel from it, which is why I like it. But it's probably I feel like that oudy aspect to it is probably a little bit too much for me, and that's why I like the smell of it, but I don't want to wear it. So I get Matt to wear it. He likes it though, so
that's understandable though. It is like, it's not a subtle fragrance.
Yeah.
All right, I think I want to. There's a couple that got my interest. All right, so there was two that I really liked. So number 9 and number 5. Okay, we'll talk about number 9 first because I like number 5 a little bit better based on the first impression.
Yeah.
Number 9 intrigued me because I couldn't work out what I was smelling, to be honest. Like this was one of those ones where I didn't really recognize, what I was smelling.
Damn, I was hoping you would enlighten me.
I'll tell you what I smell, and on the notes that I made, because I just kind of wrote down as I was smelling, right? It was like the way I would describe it is almost a milky skin musk. Like there's something very lactonic about this scent. There is a little tiny hint of like sweetness from like, vanilla. I don't know. I get reminded of, when you make, if you've ever made like a custard base or something like that, where you've got milk sitting on the stove with a bit of sugar and you put a vanilla pod in there. But it's not overly sweet. It's just that like that steam coming up.
That is
and
so
it also
interesting.
and it also it is interesting because I'm sure that when you tell me what it is, it's going to be it's going to be totally.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know what's in it. I don't know what the note. It's one of those ones where they don't tell you what the notes are, so I don't know what's in it. But
and
sorry, keep going. Yep.
no, I was about to say, like the one perfume that I thought about when I smelled this, right? And I know it's not the same one. I don't know if you've ever smelled Over the Musk by Cherie.
No, I haven't.
But that one is a lot spicier. It's like this one is like has that muskiness but without the spice. It's very smooth and gentle and I'm just trying to find the right word to describe it. It's very comforting and cozy kind of smell. Like, I definitely don't describe it as like that kind of sexy kind of musk, but it's just it's a real comfort smell. Like you smell this, and I would imagine it's kind of really easy to be reminded of some lovely kind of memory that you had.
Yeah.
So the fact that you just mentioned that it doesn't have a note list, or they don't publish a note list, is this like a Nasamato perfume or something like that?
No, but you
Okay.
are you. I mean, you'll. Well, I'll just show you what it is. Why not? This is a Xerjoff fragrance, and it's a Shanquan. Can you see that? Oh God, I can't. The camera is opposite way around on my laptop. So there we go.
I've never heard of this one.
So
can you spell it? Can you spell it out for me, and I'll write it in the comments.
SHUNKOIN.
KOIN.
Yeah. And I have no idea what's in this. But when I first smelled this, I remember thinking, and I've talked about it a few times, but I remembered thinking it smelled to me like a bit of a combination of Cashmere by Vicanto and Tonka Imperial. It sort of looked like, it seemed like a bit of a blend of those two. And but now I think it's interesting that description that you just gave of the custard or the milkiness, really, really interesting. So now it's getting a little bit more, it's getting less like that now for me on the strip, but it was like that. When you were describing that and I was smelling it and I just sprayed it on, I was thinking, oh yeah, that's a really, really great description of it. And it was really making me rethink, because in my head, when I first sampled this, it was probably about a year and a half ago now, I had those other two, in my head, I just had those other two fragrances in my mind, because I was wearing those two a fair bit at the time. And I thought, oh, well, I don't need this because it sort of smells like a combination of those two. But the more I wore this one, I was thinking, no, there's something different about this one. It's not that simple to say that it's sort of similar to those other two combined. I do feel like there's tonka in here, but it's like, I don't know if it's a patchouli note or something. I don't know. I don't know. I just really like it. It's great.
It's really, really lovely. And you know what's interesting to me, Cherie? Like, so to be honest, I was actually quite surprised. I'd never heard of this one, so I was really surprised that it was a Xerjoff for starters. The instant thought that I got in my head, like, and you don't have to tell us, is I wonder, did you I firstly wondered if you paid retail for this for this Xerjoff, right? Because as much as I like this scent, and this is just an inbuilt bias, right? That as soon as I found out it was a Xerjoff, I thought, but would I pay Xerjoff prices for this smell?
Mm.
And I really like it. I really like it, but I was really instantly put off by the second I found out it was a Xerjoff fragrance.
Well, so was I, and that's why I was, when I initially smelled it, I liked it, but I was thinking, I was trying to find ways to sort of justify or to convince myself I didn't need it. Well, you don't need any of them, really. We don't need any of them. I didn't pay full retail, but I paid close to retail. So yeah, it was like I got a discount, but it wasn't that much. And
you know,
so
the only reason that popped into my head, right? Because when I was smelling this, I was trying to think of other kind of perfumes that it might have reminded me of, and there was some Mugler, and they're not cheap either, but like it like to me it could even easily be one of the Narciso Rodriguez like line that's marketed to women as well. That's that's why, you know, not the same, but
no, yeah,
like it totally wouldn't surprise me if this was a Narciso perfume. Anyway, it's lovely. I think it's lovely.
Yeah.
So I've just put up a comment there by Lindsay that maybe you'd be happy to answer while our noses.
Yes, Lindsay, I actually am getting a lot more appreciation. It's been a really interesting few months actually, because I've only just now in the last 2 weeks or so since the trip, we went to Tasmania recently, and I took samples with me instead of, I didn't want to pack bottles, and we were trekking, so I wanted to be able, so I was the only one on the trek in the middle of nowhere wearing perfume, but you know, it came in handy because we weren't showering, so you know, I thought that was useful, but it was only pretty much since February I haven't been sampling anything. I've just been wearing my perfumes, and I haven't been putting any pressure because I'm not buying anything. I sort of went through this initial phase of feeling like I didn't need to, I'm just not going to, not that I didn't need to sample, because I still have lots of samples here, and that was kind of the part of the purpose of this year too, was to try and get through the box of samples that I have and sort of either, you know, smell them or not smell them, but you know, make a decision about what to do with them, because they're, you know, it's a lot of stuff. And so I stopped sampling for about 2 months, and then it's only really just in the last few weeks that I've started to sample again, and I'm really enjoying it because I'm finding that I don't know, it's kind of reignited the joy of discovering stuff, but not having any pressure to sort of go, okay, well, I need to go check that out and see if I can buy it, or because I can't anyway. And but yeah, in that first couple of months, I don't know, it sort of released me from any pressure for having to wear certain things in my wardrobe. I think I just really wanted a break, and just to be able to wear the things that I felt like wearing, rather than feeling like I had to wear certain things or sample things for the purpose of talking about it. So it's really, and I've kind of discovered, you know, a couple of things that I think I'm loving even more, and then other things that I sort of go, I probably didn't need to buy that. So no, it's a good exercise to go through, to just stop the whole looking for things to buy, or looking for new things to supplement my wardrobe with, and then just really understand what I've got.
Yeah, I'm with you, Cherie. Like I'm not on a no buy, but I've only bought a couple of bottles in the last 4 or 5 months, and I just wanted to show everyone. So this, I don't know how clearly you can see that, but that's basically a box full of samples, and I'm not even tried any of these yet. So like it's definitely not for, you know, like that, you know, I want to try. I'm not missing trying a lot of stuff, and like you, I've been enjoying the stuff I've got, and if anything, it's made me really love the perfumes that I already have even more because I'm getting to wear them more.
Yeah.
And it's definitely gotten harder compared to last year now to actually think of any that I don't want to wear anymore. Like I really look forward to wearing all the perfume that I have now. And I wanted to put Lindsay's comment up there on the screen as well because I know like in particular on Instagram, because I don't really watch a lot of YouTube channels, but on Instagram in particular, there's probably a minority who are kind of doing this sort of no buy or trying to shrink their collection, curating more than amassing and collecting. And then the rest of Instagram, Fragcom, is all about more, please bring me some more. And I can understand that there's sort of like almost like a reflex against that because we won't get into anything deep on here, but I'm sure that there are. I can't even imagine. I can't even start to think about how many people have gotten or are in sort of financial difficulty just because of addiction to buying, not just fragrance, but we're talking about fragrance and we're in it. But I kind of sort of cringe a bit to think about people who are sort of overstretching themselves just to keep up with social media peer pressure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, Lindsay. I just wanted to catch up on this one. Yeah, Michelle, I haven't smelled MV Augusta. Have you, Cherie?
No, I haven't. I
Okay.
have a
I
have a
haven't heard
bag
about
full of
that.
Zerjoff samples, but I don't know what's in there, so I need to go have a look. But no, I haven't. I haven't even heard of that one, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
Keep an
And
eye out for it.
this is her by Zadig and Voltaire. I used to have this is him, but I haven't smelled the this is her. Okay. Lactonic perfume. Have you smelled
Yeah,
that
and
one, Cherie?
I haven't either, and I'm so curious about it. But every time I go into the
Okay.
department store, I forget to look. I sort of get in there, and I feel really overwhelmed because there's just so much stuff there. And I know I'm sort of looking around to go, what is it that I wanted to try? What are some things that I wanted to smell because I've never smelled them? And that's one of them. I've never smelled that one, but I don't know if our department stores sell them anymore. To be honest, I haven't seen them for a while. I don't think.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No.
The other thing too with
Are we still
Instagram.
on? I lost you momentarily.
Oh, did you? Can you hear me now?
I'll stop clicking for a little bit. All right.
Well, you're a little bit frozen, but you'll come back. I think you've been sort of freezing and
Cherie,
unfreezing
just
for
so
me.
you know, if you can still hear me, I've lost your picture. Hello.
Are you?
You're back?
Am I?
No, you're back. You're back. I can
Okay,
see
good.
you. All right, let's get back to sniffing. All right, I'm going to smell
Sure.
number 5 now because number 5 because there are a few that I haven't smelled yet, but number 5 of all the ones that I did smell was definitely at the very least, you know, my favorite, and also one that now that I smell the dry down, it kind of smells familiar, but I don't know if I'm just remembering yesterday, sniffing it yesterday. I'm actually going to put this one on my arm too. All right, so what I wrote down about number 5. Oh, this is really interesting. Okay, so the words that I wrote down for it, it's kind of like a sweet vegetal green opening. It's this weird combination to me of putting green leaves in Earl Grey tea. I don't know why. It reminded me of black Earl Grey tea, but like for some reason steeping some kind of fresh green leaves in there. It was really interesting, and I don't have anything in my collection that's kind of really like this. Now that I'm smelling it again, I'm definitely picking up a lot more citrus as well. Probably bergamot. Maybe that's why it's reminding me of Earl Grey tea. But this is really nice, and I like the way it dried down. I, I don't know, like I don't know. It, it's not. It doesn't seem like something that is overly like people would rave about. I think I was just more surprised by how much I liked this, and mainly because I don't really have anything that's kind of like this in my collection.
Yeah.
So the main things I would sort of try and describe it as is citrusy, green. I like to me, this is what if I had to guess, there's almost like a tea note in here, not green tea. It's like really specifically black tea with citrus. Maybe a little bit spicy. When it dries down, maybe like so it gets into sort of creamy woods in the base as well. It's really, really nice. And I would definitely keep testing this one. And just don't tell me it's discontinued, all right?
No, it's not. I don't believe so. I wouldn't do
Okay,
that
good.
to you, Pep. Although actually, I think there might be one in here that's discontinued, but I don't expect that's going to be one that you'll gravitate towards. I just threw it in there just for interest. No, so this one, you're spot on. It's very it is quite green, but not grassy green. It's sort of aromatic green with spices and woods. I sort of get a woody vibe too, but when I was just reading the note listing, and there isn't actually any specific woods represented in the note. It's quite a long note listing, but this is one. I really like the smell of this, but again, it's not, and I don't want to spritz it because I've only got a little decant of it, and I want to send you the rest of it because there's no point me spraying it because I really like it, but it's not one that I would necessarily wear, but it is totally up my alley in terms of how it smells. I have a whole raft of fragrances in my collection that I love because they smell very introspective, and they're things that I imagine that I would wear, meditating and, like being really quiet and introspective. And so this is Sancti by Liquid Imaginaire.
Ah, okay. Awesome.
Sancti. Anyway, SANCTI. My camera is not great on this computer. And I did. I mean, I've worn through, I obviously sent you a little decant, but I've worn through quite a bit of this. I did wear it quite a bit for a while, the year that I got it, which was a few years ago now. And then I sort of stopped wearing it. But there are other things that I sort of gravitate towards over this. So there's it's not the same, doesn't smell the same, but it's interesting. Yeah, the tea note, what I wanted to come back to was the tea note, because there is no tea specifically listed, but I've been smelling lots of tea fragrances lately, and it's amazing the breadth of different types of fragrances that are actually tea fragrances that I would never have picked as being. So I always had a very specific view of what a tea fragrance smelled like. And so I think that there is bergamot in here and all that sort of stuff. So I think, it does have elements of that. But it's interesting. I really like this one. It's very spicy.
Okay. All right, good. Because this was a house that I had like an interest in sampling, like not this perfume specifically, but there were a few others. So okay, that's good to know. All right, I'm definitely going to note that one down.
Anyway, I'll send you the rest of that because, again, I'm probably not going to wear it. So at least it'll go to somebody who will appreciate it.
So of the ones I've already smelled, the only one we haven't talked about yet is number one. So this one here, when I smelled this one, to me, this one is the one that smelled, I guess, the most classic of all the ones that I had smelled. So the way this to me immediately was, of the fruity Cherie kind of family of perfumes. I definitely smells like there's a lot of aldehydes in the opening, a lot of fruit, and it has that kind of mossy dry down. It's a very classic smell, but like at first I thought, okay, well, to me it's the two Shapers that I'm very familiar with, or like one that I'm very familiar with is Roche's Femme, and then it definitely doesn't smell like that because that one's got a lot more cumin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Katie says I'm frozen. I'm sorry, we've been having issues all morning. I don't know if it's my internet connection or not. And the last time I smelled something like Mitsuko, for example, by Guerlain, I wasn't a massive fan of it. I smelled the EDP, so, and if so I'm not going to say that. I don't want to say this is it, but it definitely is something that I guess I'm familiar with. I'm familiar with at least this kind of composition in perfume.
Yeah.
And this one's actually quite nice. Although again, this is another like the one I smelled earlier, where it's really pleasant to smell, but I'd rather smell this on somebody else than something I would wear myself. And if I'm gonna guess this is a classic kind of designer fragrance to me.
So you're spot on in some ways and not in others, but you are so spot on. Actually, you're going to laugh when you find out what it is. But because when we tried Mitsuko around about the same time, I think, and I remember. I mean, I think I had the EDT, not the EDP, but for me, we both talked about it sort of going stale cigarette ash sort of on our skin, and it just didn't. I quite like the smell of it in the air, but when I put it on me and it heats up and stuff, it sort of gets this real, it's going to sound terrible, kind of like stale smoker's breath. It's just totally gross. But that's kind of what Mitsuko smells like on me.
I reckon that's the oak moss, because I get that kind of smell from some oak moss accords or whatever people are using for oak moss, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it was.
That this one interestingly doesn't go like that. I feel like this one is like the prettier version of Mitsuko for me, because I know a lot of people love Mitsuko and think it's very pretty, but so it's not Mitsuko, but it was based. It was almost like a modern recreation of it, and this is it's Diaghilev by Roger. This is that bashed up bottle that I bought really cheap off one of the guys on the Facebook page, and I mean it's been dropped and stuff. It looks like trash, but I really like this. I was so happy to smell this and go, if this is what it was meant to smell like, or what it smelled like, and that's what that people say, whether it's true or not, I don't know. I haven't smelled vintage Mitsuko, but I really like this one, but I could never afford it.
So just for clarity, does he make a Diaghilev? Because I know he does a few perfumes that are pour homme, pour femme. Is Diaghilev one of those ones that?
This is this is the parfum, and so I think when I looked up if I wanted to buy a new bottle of this, it was well over $1,000, Pep. Like I just
Okay.
there's no way
So
that I'd ever be able to buy
I
a bottle of it.
I will say one thing, having smelled it and having smelled it before I knew what it was, it just confirms everything about Roger Dove that I already suspected. Because just the fact that I was wondering if this was, some kind of one of Dior's classic sheepers or something like that. Just the
Yeah,
fact that I
well,
was thinking in that way,
yeah.
like and then when people posted it's €1,000, like I'm sorry, but I find that actually quite disgustingly
Offensive.
offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. So look, it's very nice, but it does smell like something that you would pay a lot less for if, without the fancy bottle, which
Good
mine is all
God.
banged up and looks terrible. So
Good God.
I hope you don't think less of me though.
I don't no, I don't think less of you because, well, I mean, what I find offensive, and I'm going to go on a mini rant here now, right? Like, at least you bought yours. At least you've got yours. At least you got yours discounted. Okay, that's fine. And then, if people want to pay full retail, absolutely fine. If you can afford it and you like the perfume, that's great. But what's offensive is then you see, like dozens of these bottles being sent out for free, and I smell this perfume and I think, yeah, it's pleasant. I've no idea what it is. It's quite nice, and then for sure I know, all right, if I buy this perfume, I'm paying mainly for packaging, and also I'm covering the cost of every fucking influencer's free bottle that they're getting sent. So, like, it's just confirmed for me that I will never ever own a bottle of Roger. No matter, there can't be a perfume ever that good that's going to be worth €1,000 for me, let alone 500. But
Yeah,
it
I
is
agree.
this one is pleasant. This one is pleasant.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
I agree. And I do wear this one actually. And it's one of those ones where I got this when I was really going through the sheep phase and the vintage phase where I was sort of looking out and I was buying vintage perfumes, which I've sort of stopped doing now. And I do really, really love it. But there's just, there's no way that I'd pay the full retail. And even now, I now in this headspace that I'm in now, this year, I look at this and go, I don't think it was worth even what I paid for it, which was very. I mean, I think I paid $250 for this, and it's about 30 mils.
yeah. Well, I mean,
So,
even
but
250, like if this is something that I'd wear, like I would pay 250 for something that I like enough, like.
sure.
But
But in the headspace that I'm in now, I wouldn't buy this today
yeah,
if I saw it. So, and it's the wrong lid too.
Okay.
But anyway, that's fine. That's neither here nor there.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm fully awake now. All right.
Nothing like a little rant to get you woken up and fired up.
All right. So I am curious. I'm going to go back because the first one, the first one that I tried when I first got these samples from you, I think was number 3. And I think I might have posted on Instagram what I thought I'd smell. And apparently I got it completely wrong. But
did you? Did I say that you got it wrong?
Well, no, because I was smelling I was smelling a lot of what I thought. I mean, I'm still smelling it. I smell a lot of iris in this, like,
oh yeah.
Well, maybe iris and violet, those type of florals. It's, to me, if I know you're not supposed to see gender in perfume, but this is what I would describe as a kind of a traditionally feminine floral perfume. it's not particularly make-uppy like a lot of iris is. But I think at the time you mentioned to me that iris wasn't the note that was actually listed in here. I don't know if I remember that correctly or not, but
I know I can't remember now, so let me just look it up. But I see why you get that, and because it has, I see why you get that, and I think I said it's not listed, but when you find out what this is, we'll be going, it's very likely it probably does have iris in it, because there'll be a bunch of stuff in it that isn't listed.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, again, this falls in the category of it's quite pleasant. It's a type of perfume that I've smelled before. It's like there's nothing really that unique to me going on here, and it seems to me that it's a bit like it seems quite linear. And obviously, I don't know what it does on skin either. So, but I'm just curious to know what is actually in here.
So apparently, it's more white florals, but apparently the main floral in here is camellia.
Oh, okay.
And then there's jasmine as well. That's what's listed. But I'll just tell you what it is.
Can I just ask you, before you tell me what it is, just ask you something, because we have lots of camellia growing around here. Look, my next door neighbor has a big one, but I've never noticed that they have a particularly strong scent, but there must be some varieties that do. And I'm imagining camellia might be one of those notes that are more of a fantasy creation.
Could be.
Perfume, yeah.
This is really waxy to me. Oh, and there is. Okay. I think there is a beeswax note in here as well. So
maybe it's the waxiness. Maybe it's the waxiness I'm confusing with iris and stuff.
That's why I think that's because when I smell it without thinking about what's in there, and you talk about there being iris, and I was going, I can see where that's coming from, because there is that waxiness to it. I don't know. I don't know what camellia smells like, to be honest. I'm not really a flower person. I'm a green plant person, so I don't really go around checking out flowers that much. So I would have no idea if that's what it is, and so I couldn't tell you whether or not that's what we're smelling or not. You look like you're on a space rocket en route to Mars. That's hilarious.
I'm really sorry. Normally it's okay, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to try something. You can keep, like talking amongst yourselves, but I'm actually going to put my headphones on, and get rid of my Bluetooth earbuds. Maybe I wonder if that's going to make a difference.
Oh, maybe. Katie says, I think the more perfumes one buys, the price of each bottle increases. Yeah. And that's the problem that I was having, was that it was just going up and up and up. And it was normalizing spending ridiculous amounts of money for scented water, basically. Spending $300 on a bottle of perfume was becoming normal to me and not at all strange. And that's when I sort of went, I think I need a reality check, and hence why I stopped. I decided to do this no buy, because I thought I remember the days when I used to think spending $140 on a bottle of Chanel or something was expensive, So I thought, those days are long gone. All right.
So can I just yes, please. But can everyone, first of all, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, you're actually loud and clear. You're still freezing.
Am I still freezing?
Yeah, but your audio is coming through perfectly. So
sorry, everyone. All right. So what is number 3, Cherie?
Number 3 is Opus 9 by Amouage.
Ah, okay.
So I did not like this when I first smelled it. And then I wore it and I put it on my skin. And then I put it on my skin and I was like, oh, I'm not sure I like that. And then about 4 hours later, I was at the dog park and I'm going, what is that? What am I smelling? Because I was thinking, it smells great. And it was me. And it was this. And I was totally, and it was the dead of winter too, which is not that cold in Queensland, obviously, but still cold for us. And I wore it for about 3 days straight and thought, okay, I think I really love this perfume. So that's how I ended up with this one. I got the, somebody sent me the whole library collection of samples of all the library collections. So I got to try all of them, which was really nice. So anyway,
cool.
That was one of the winners for me.
I've only ever tried, I can't remember, the ambery one. I think it might have been Opus. I forget the number now. Well, I haven't actually tried a lot of that library collection, but I'm curious. I'm very curious about them. I think there's only one sample left that we haven't talked about.
Yeah, I don't think you've tried it yet either.
No, I haven't tried it. So I'm actually going to spray this.
Oh, hang on. No, there's 2. There were 2.
What was the other
number
one?
6 and hang on. Number 4 and number 6.
I can't find number 4.
Oh, did I not send it to you?
Well, no, I have got number 4. Okay.
Okay.
Out of 4 and 6, which one do you want me to try first?
Let's go with number 4.
All right, I'm going to spray this on my hand.
And I say that because I don't even know if I have thoughts on this yet. This was a blind buy, by the way.
Oh, what am I smelling here? Does this have Immortelle? This definitely has. Well, there's something here that smells like Immortelle.
Probably.
Okay, so I'm getting something that smells a lot like Immortelle. It has that kind of sweet, savory thing.
Oh, also, this is the one I thought was discontinued, but it's not discontinued by the looks of it. Yeah, this is so weird, this one.
It is. You know what the opening reminded me of? Yesterday I posted on Instagram, my scent of the day was The Afternoon of a Fawn by Eldo at Live.
Okay.
This opening is kind of similar to that one.
Okay.
That's why
I just want to spray it again because I feel like
I think this is really interesting, Cherie. I don't like. I quite like this one.
I'm not sure how I feel about. I can see, and actually, maybe there's probably reasons why I sent this to you because there's quite a lot of. I think there's one of the more prominent notes in here might be geranium.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, it didn't pop out to me, but it's not. I really quite like this. Okay,
that doesn't surprise me. Not that it's not my favorite, but it's one of the. These fragrances or this house is sort of like there's a few houses that I have fragrances that I absolutely adore, and some of them usually take me a while to learn to appreciate. So I have to get to know them a little bit better. So I blind bought this because I thought it was discontinued and it was going on one of the Facebook groups early last year, and I decided to grab it. And somebody was talking about it, and somebody I think had asked me about it in the comments of one of my videos too, and I'd never smelled it. So I saw it and I just thought it was less than $100. So I just went, I'm just going to buy it and see how it goes. I thought it was.
No, I was going to say it's drying down nicely. It's definitely getting more aromatic. It's interesting. I don't think I've smelled much that this reminds me of, to be honest.
My brain is just not computing anything in here. Like, even if I look at the note listing, I'm just going.
It seems to me really well blended because of that. Like it all smells good, but but I can't. It's very hard for me to pick anything out from here.
Yeah, I'm struggling as well.
Yes, Michelle. The Afternoon of the Fawn has Immortelle in it. It has rose. It has pepper, but it's a really weird, strange, beautiful blend.
I haven't tried that one. I haven't tried much from Eldo, actually. Oh, that's a good idea. Anyway.
We should, Cherie. Maybe we'll do a regular thing and invite someone different on. Probably not Max 40, but someone else.
Yeah. Fair enough. No, I think that is a great idea. It's the hard part is doing stuff. It's getting the samples and making sure everyone can access samples in different jurisdictions and things like that, because sometimes it's a bit tricky. So,
all right, anyway, what is this one? I'm curious.
This one is Valeur de Roses by L'Artisan. So I just have a tester bottle, but yeah, it was totally not what I expected. And when I first smelled this, when I first got it a year or so, I'm getting lots of patchouli now that it's dried down a bit.
Yeah, actually, you know what this, so have you got the note list in front of you?
Hang on, give me a sec.
Because I'll tell you what this is reminding me of now, especially because I still smell the Immortelle in it. This is actually not dissimilar as it dries down to La Mat from Menditorosa.
Oh, I've always wanted to try that.
Because that one also has geranium as well.
Right. Okay. So it is apparent. So it's not. I just assumed, as always, that it was going to be a rose dominant fragrance just based on the name, obviously, and the packaging. I mean, it's got a pink, label, but it's predominantly apparently a patchouli scent, and it says the top notes are plum, geranium, and bergamot. The middle notes are patchouli and rose, and then the base you've got benzoin, amber, sandalwood, and musk. When I first smelled this the very first time, I thought it smelled a little bit like pink musk sticks. And now I don't get any of that. I'm not getting any of that at all. It's totally different to how I thought it smelled 18 months ago. It's amazing. It's amazing how things change, or how your perception of things change. And partly, I think, because I hadn't looked at it, and I don't know. I think I've just gotten into the habit of smelling things without doing this, without looking at notes and things, and which I think is a good habit to get into. But I really wasn't doing that, a couple of years ago. And I think, in the last sort of 18 months or so, I've been doing it a lot more than I used to. I used to try, but then I'd forget. And then half the time I was buying things or trying things because I'd seen the note listing and I thought it sounded interesting. Whereas this one was just a complete, I think somebody had said something about it in the comments of one of my videos. And I saw it pop up on a Facebook group, and I think I paid $70 for it. And I just went, you know what? I'm just going to grab that. And then I got it and I had no idea what it was. And then I think, I don't know, I was totally swayed by the pink label, I think. I thought it smelled like pink musk sticks.
It's nice. I don't mind
it.
This,
well, I guess, yeah.
Do you know if this one is still available to buy?
I think so, because, well, I thought it had been discontinued, which is why I grabbed it. But then if I look it up on Fragrantica, it's got the new bottle. So
Yeah.
it must be
Okay.
been
They,
re-released.
I think they still have discontinued a few of those that even went to the new bottle, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
interesting.
Oh, well.
Okay, we're down to the last one, Cherie.
Okay. Yes, we
Before I
are.
smell it, what do you think I'm going to like this one?
So interestingly, I thought when you talked about fruity chypre yesterday, I thought you were talking about this one.
Ah,
And it's not a chypre, but I thought, if you're blind sniffing it, you could be, well, maybe it is a chypre. I don't know. I haven't actually looked at it properly. But I also thought this might have been one that you possibly have smelled before.
I don't think I like this one.
Yeah, so I wasn't a huge fan of this one. To me, it smells, hang on, let me spritz it. To me, it smells, I think I thought I got rock melon from it.
There is something, well,
yeah, it's not my favorite.
there is something definitely like fruity there, over ripe fruit, possibly with old flower vase water.
Okay.
It's not. I'm probably exaggerating a bit. I think my initial reaction was a bit. I'm hesitant to bring my hand back up to my nose, to be honest.
This is this is not my. This it sort of smells. So I get, to me, if it smells like rock melon.
Yeah, I can see that.
And mint and mud.
Oh, hang.
I don't know what's in it, because let me have a look.
I don't really get the mint. The mud is probably what I'm smelling as the flower water.
Okay,
I mean,
so
it's actually better than it was a few minutes ago. It's drying down a lot nicer.
Some people really love this one.
Hmm.
I don't get the well. I mean, it's, for me personally, it wasn't a love. I'll just put it. I'll give you that. It's I only have a decant of it. Thankfully, I didn't buy a full bottle. This is A Memoir by Caron.
Ah.
So it's a Dominique Ropion, and it's top notes of violet, star anise, mint, cardamom, and bergamot. Maybe I'm getting more cardamom than mint, actually. Middle notes are iris, peach, tincture of rose, magnolia, and jasmine. And then the base notes are woodsy notes, vanilla, musk, sandalwood, and amber.
Did I spell that right on the comment, Cherie?
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hyphenated, though, I think.
Is this like an older Caron, or is this a newer one?
I think so. 1996. It's a 90s fragrance.
Yeah, I haven't smelled it before. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you might have, because I know you've smelled a few Caron fragrances.
But this one is one of the ones that are marketed to, like, a feminine marketed, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, I wasn't a fan. But I thought when you said fruity chypre, I was thinking, I wonder if it's this one, because of the fruity through me.
This is definitely fruity, but it's like, like it has that feel like of, ripe fruit that's been stomped on in the mud.
We're really selling it.
And Jonathan, if you're talking about this perfume, I don't really get much peach from it. I definitely get the rock melon that Cherie gets. I'm not getting peach or anything I recognize as peach.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something a little bit stomach turning for me in that one. I don't know what it is, because the rock melon sort of vibe is, the rock melon does sort of die down a little bit after a while, but it's got this sort of creamy, creamy aromatic herbal thing going on, which I don't know. It's sort of I don't know what it is, but it sort of turns my stomach a little bit. Maybe I need more coffee. Maybe I need less coffee. But
oh, that was hey. So I think we've smelled all of them now. So
we have.
I want to say, I'll tell you face to face in this way. Thank you so much for sending me all of these. And Cherie also sent me a bunch of other samples. I still haven't worked my way through all those Celine samples that you sent me.
I haven't either. That's why I thought I'd better just send them to you, because I'm still working through them myself. There's a lot. There's like how many of it? 10 or something.
But it seems to me from what I've smelled so far that that the whatever the creative direction was for that line, they've definitely wanted to highlight iris through the whole line, because I almost smell it. I've smelled it in everything that I've tried so far, and they're obviously different. The only problem for me with Celine is that they're highlighting a note that like I'm not particularly, iris is one of those notes that I find it very difficult to get excited about these days. I used to like it more, but it's just not something that, you know, like gets my attention anymore. Like, you know, if I look at a note list and I see that it's predominantly iris, I go, you know, like it might be good, but I probably won't go out of my way to try it. Yeah. I've got a question for everyone that's watching, and you too, Cherie. I don't know if you have yourself. Has anyone tried any of the new Guerlain Le Légendaire?
Oh no, I haven't.
So these are.
Although,
let me just put it up on screen. So these are, like, they've reissued things like Jiki, Vol de Nuit. What am I thinking of? Maybe Chamad. In the new in the upside down heart bottles, and they've got new labels with a new font, sort of more modern font. I'm just trying to think of the other ones that they've put in that line. I think Mitsuko is part of that as well. But yes, so Jay, what do you think of, like, I mean, how does it smell to you? Because I'm very curious about trying that version of Jiki, because I've read on base notes there's a couple of people that seem to think that it's a lot closer to vintage versions, which I'm not, you know, like I wouldn't know about because I haven't smelled any of them. Are you guys, and Lindsay's got Nahima as well, are you guys liking
yeah,
them?
I did actually buy. I lie. I do have one. I did buy Nahima or Naima, however you say it.
Yeah.
At the end of last year. But I have nothing to compare it to, though, because I don't think I tried it before, so I don't know what it's. I can't compare it.
I don't think I've seen them here in Australia in any retail. So at the moment, for us, they're all online. Yeah, Le Bleu is one of the other ones as well. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably one that I may want to invest in later on in the EDP, because I think I have the EDT, but I think I'd like to try the EDP.
Yeah, because these ones are all in EDP concentration, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Okay.
Cristiano. Oh, thank you. I have tried Ancidont Diplomatique, and it is very, very nice. I came almost pretty close to buying a bottle of that because I was going to buy, I tried a few from Javoy, and I was going to buy Psychedelic, and then I smelled that one, and it was really good. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to leave it open if it's all right for you, with you, Cherie, to see if anyone wants to ask either of us any questions,
Yeah, sure.
or talk about anything, or get our opinion on anything, because we've been going for over an hour and a half, so I'm happy to stretch it to a couple of hours if it's okay, and then I'm going to need an IV drip of coffee.
And maybe a couple of liters of water, perhaps.
yeah, and a couple of hours of sleep.
That too.
Oh, okay. Has it definitely been reformulated? Time to musk up. That's a shame.
For better or for worse.
Well. Yeah, that's the tricky thing. Like, I know that I've got samples of stuff that I got the samples a long time ago, and usually what I do, if I've decided to buy a bottle of something, it's after I've finished the sample. But now I kind of always worry that by the time I finish the sample, whatever bottle I'm buying might have been reformulated or it hasn't changed. But Diana made a good point. Like, it's hard to, like, who's going to know everything that's been reformulated?
True.
Jonathan, they have coffee. Well, I don't know if they've got coffee on Mars. Do I still look like I'm on the red planet? I don't know if StreamYard lets you do the different backgrounds like, Zoom can and that kind of thing.
I think I was looking at something this morning when I was setting up. You can set a virtual background. So maybe next time you can set a planet.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, you're right.
Although it would probably chew up more. Yeah, it'll probably chew up more of your bandwidth, though, unfortunately. So
okay. Well, tell me if anything changes. There we go.
Oh yeah, you've got a brick wall now.
No, I don't like that at all.
It's red.
Yeah, true.
Fits the theme of Mars.
We'll just go the blur.
Yeah, getting back to your point on reformulation and this is the problem, because we gather all these, or we somehow end up with all these samples, and it takes literally years to get through them. And somebody was posting on Instagram a couple of days ago about how even when they've bought bottles from indie houses or niche houses, they can't just go and repurchase the bottle if they run out of it, because they have to actually resample it every time because they change so much. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless something gets changed so drastically that it no longer is a representative of what it was before, I don't really mind that much.
I don't mind either. Like, and also and I don't know if you've experienced this, is that the longer you have a bottle of something, I definitely sometimes spray something, and to me it's never been that it smells weaker, but I've definitely smelled stuff that to me smells stronger, or at least different, but not in a bad way. So I don't know if it's in my head that things change the longer they're in the bottle. But yeah, but I know it's something that I can't waste energy worrying about with reformulations. And hopefully if I go to buy a bottle, I'm getting what I thought I'd sampled, and if I don't, then I'll either sell the bottle or never buy it again. So
yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm reading Petra's comments. I wasn't laughing at you about not buying bottles, but yeah, it's very funny.
Anyone else got any questions or thoughts on that? What's this? What's time to mark? 3 things in life are promised: taxes, death, and reformulations. Yeah, fair enough. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But does stuff like this happen? How, I don't know, Cherie, like how closely do you follow, like sort of makeup sort of accounts on social media? Does the same kind of thing happen with other types of cosmetics? Like, does stuff have to get reformulated? Because I'm curious about that.
Yeah, it should. Galen, hilarious.
Okay.
Yes, actually, I've only recently started following social media accounts around makeup. Since I've started this no buy, actually, I've suddenly become interested in other things. Actually, it's more of a pandemic thing, I think, because I think I mentioned in the video that I just uploaded the other day about my empties, where I was talking about how the way I wear makeup has changed over the last 18 months to 2 years, because I was bored at home and needed something to spice up my day other than just perfume, and also because we're wearing masks and things. So anyway, beside the point, yes, there was I think the most recent sort of thing everyone's in a flap about is there is a foundation that has been reformulated that was a lot of people had a holy grail, and they've changed this foundation. Apparently it's not a foundation I'm familiar with, but yes, apparently things get reformulated and people get really upset about it. So it's
but is it? I mean, obviously you hear with perfume, stuff gets reformulated because an ingredient's been deemed like not safe or whatever. Is it the same type of thing with cosmetics, or are they just trying to replace it with cheaper materials and that kind of thing?
No idea. In fact, Michelle might be more qualified to answer that question than I am, because I think she's a little bit more into the beauty stuff, or has been for a little bit longer way longer than I have. So
I think her comment is kind of reflective of the way I feel about it in perfume. Like if something is going to be changed where you don't recognize it as what you liked, like I just won't buy it again, to be honest. Like you might get burnt buying a bottle of a new formulation and not liking it, but but at least I think voting with your feet is a way to go with stuff like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I think perfume is a lot easier in a way. If somebody reformulates a perfume that you love, it's easy to just go and find another perfume to love. I think it's a bit harder when you're putting something on your skin and, there's all these things where you can have reactions and stuff, or things just don't behave the way that you're used to. So I do feel for people. I mean, I don't think I care enough about makeup to worry too much about it. But again, I don't really worry that much about perfume either. I used to really be sort of, dreading the reformulations. But I don't. Now I think I just know now that there's always going to be another perfume that I'll find eventually that I'll love, whether it's, even if I don't find anything the same, it doesn't matter.
That's kind of that part of it is actually kind of exciting to me as well, because on one side, like if I there's a couple of perfumes that I have that I will probably actually finish this year. Like one of them is Absolu pour le soir from from MFK, and I'll probably finish that bottle this year, and I won't. And I think I'm pretty sure that's been discontinued. But I'm actually, as much as I love that perfume, and I wish I could have another bottle of it, I'm actually excited to replace it with something new, and trying a whole bunch of stuff to see what I might find, or I might not replace it at all. But I like that, because let's face it, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of different brands and perfumes out there to choose from, and most of the fun of what we do is trying a bunch of new stuff, and then the secondary part is curating the bottles of the stuff you want. So I wanted to ask you about your no buy again, and I know you've probably been asked lots of it. So do you plan on not buying any full new bottle of anything for the rest of this year?
Correct. I'm not even buying samples.
Oh, okay.
I can receive free samples. That's not an invitation. It's more just like, if I go into a department store, I'm allowed to pick up a free sample if they give it to me. But I'm not buying samples. The only thing I'm allowed to buy really is fragrance related, is raw ingredients. So I can get stuff to train my nose a bit better, because there's lots of things. There's lots of things that I don't know what they smell like in the real world, So, I mean, I had this really interesting discussion with James Houdini on Instagram, about carnation, because to me, carnation has no smell. It's a bit like the camellia thing that you were talking about before. And when I got talking to him, he was like, carnations definitely have they definitely have a really beautiful smell. And I think it depends on the type of carnation flower and where it's grown and things like that. But in Australia, the carnations that we get don't really have a smell. But then when he said that, I
was going to say, definitely not the carnations you can buy in the florists here. Like they don't really smell of anything, but there's a lot of roses that you buy here that don't smell
true
either.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting. And then I sort of he got talking about that, and I don't know if it was just the power of suggestion, or whether if I had this recollection in my childhood, because my mother used to grow lots of flowers and things. She was a very avid gardener, and I don't know, it did not rub off on me, not until recently anyway. I'm still not a gardener. I'm an indoor plant gardener, not an outdoor gardener. But when he was talking to me, and he was trying to describe the smell to me, and I thought, oh, maybe I have smelled that. I think maybe I did have that experience as a child, but I just had totally forgotten, because for most of my life, the carnations that we find in the florists and stuff just don't have any smell. So
Jade's making a good point here. They do breed them to remove the smells, and it's probably because things like, especially things like hospital wards, they probably don't want a bunch of flowers, like being overwhelming smell in there. But I think you've inspired me. Like I didn't plan on actually doing a no buy. I'm definitely on a slow buy. Like in previous years,
ages without buying anything.
Yeah, like I've gone months without doing it, and that's a more recent thing. But so when I'm in Germany in June, like I plan on picking up my bottle of Eau Noir from Dior. But I think after, like, and before that and after that, I think I'm not going to buy anything either. Like I'm going to join you on this challenge, right? And I'd be interested to see, like, what happens as the year progresses.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting. Well, for me, because I remember talking to you, I guess late last year, or maybe you did a live stream, but we were talking about it as well. But I remember you saying that the less you bought, it sort of became like more fun to not buy things or to resist buying things, or buying perfumes. And I don't think I'm there yet, because there definitely are days where I smell something and I go, oh, I just have this urge that I want to go buy it. But I've lost the what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say crazy, but it's not crazy, but I've lost that, I don't know, focused drive to just go find the next thing. It's more, yeah, I don't know, I'm not explaining it very well, but I'm very much focused on sort of understanding what I have.
Yeah. I totally understand what you're saying. I think like there was initially, there used to be that FOMO, like, you know, wanting the next thing or trying to discover the thing that no one else had discovered, and I got to a point where like it was a more interesting exercise to me to look at my collection and figure out what really I didn't need, or like it was more, I went the opposite. I was like getting more enjoyment. It wasn't enjoyment, but I was getting more interest in you know, downsizing and figuring out what to keep and what to get rid of. But I totally get that. And it does make you fussier as well. Like I now, in the past, I might have tried one of your blind samples and had the first impression, go, oh yeah, that's really nice. And then like I have done this and literally gotten online and bought the bottle, right? Whereas now I wouldn't even consider buying a bottle of anything until I've, you know, worn the whole sample, tried it on skin, different, you know, like over months. And then when I finish, the only bottles I've bought recently are like samples that I actually finished. And even then I didn't buy it immediately. Like I just kept thinking, oh, I wish I still, you know, I would like to wear that again. And that's always a good sign to me that I you know, should get a bottle of something. Thanks, Cozzy. This is our mutual friend, Coz, Cherie. So okay.
Yeah. Hey, Coz. You're being pimped out here, Pep. Yeah.
I don't mind. Like it's not the first time I've been accused of that. Can you give us an example, Jonathan, of some of the stuff you've bought? Because we know you on Instagram. You have an amazing collection of bottles. So now I'm very curious about these discontinued unicorns that you're hoovering up.
And don't tell me where to find them, because I don't want the temptation.
Oh my God, Cherie! Imagine if either of us spent any time in, you know, places like Paris and you know, Harrods in London. I would definitely go to Roger's place in Harrods.
Oh, you've got it. Yeah, well, you would have to. You need the
I'd
experience.
smell everything and then walk out.
With a glass of champagne, hopefully, as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Rich. Yeah, we all love a discontinued unicorn.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just trying to think if I've got any thing that would be considered a unicorn in my collection. I don't know if I have.
I don't know if I have either, actually.
Yeah. Like I know when I eventually get my bottle of Au Noir, there's not, because it's a Paris exclusive, you know, obviously it's harder to own than a lot of other perfumes, but it's still actually available. And if you can get there, we can get it from there. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I've got a bottle of Seville Alobe it is definitely harder to get. I'd say in a little while, my Helmut Lang Eau de Parfum will be a little bit of a unicorn because it's been discontinued and that wasn't widely distributed, and it is one of my favorite perfumes as well. Let's see what Jonathan's got.
Oh yeah, the silver stem. I do have that one.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Oops. Oh, and the Gucci Parfum. Both thanks to Cos.
I had a tin can of the Rive Gauche as well, but I actually sold mine. And I think that Gucci Pour Homme 2, which is that blue bottle or blue label, I see that in Chemist Warehouse here every now and then, but maybe it's not there anymore. So it must be harder to get in some parts of the world.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know if I think I've seen it on the online. Yeah, maybe the Chemist Warehouse online, but I don't think I've seen it in the physical store.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zing isn't it still available though? I thought you could still get it. Is that one of the ones that got discontinued in the new bottles?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Fritz. Fritz is so relaxed, he's drooling on me.
Oh.
It's so gross. Sometimes he gets on my desk when I'm working and he'll just be sort of sitting there and he'll be so relaxed. Like he'll get up and there'll be a puddle. He's just been drooling. We've had his teeth checked, but he's fine. He's just super relaxed.
How old is he now?
Well, he's just over 2 because he and Poppy are about the same age, just a few months apart. So yeah, he's only 2.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Rich has got quite the collection. I think that this might be a perfect time to thank everybody for joining the stream, especially my thanks to you, Cherie, for sending me all those.
That's all right. It was fun.
Samples.
Actually, it was inspired by Petra. So thank Petra for the inspiration, because she
Petra
sent me a mystery box.
Yeah, she sent me stuff as well. She's very generous, is our Petra. Thanks to everyone who's commented and contributed to the live stream. It was really enjoyable. I'm sorry about the internet connections. I don't know what I can do about it because it's the same I've used in the past. So I don't know what's going on. I'll definitely do this no-buy with you for the rest of the year, Cherie, and then hopefully by the end of the year I've saved up enough money to buy a bottle of Diaghilev and compare notes.
Or check in with me at the end of the year. I might give you mine.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to go and get some coffee. Cherie,
thank you. It was so
always
nice to talk
love
to
talking
you.
to you. We'll do this again soon, okay? And if you want to have it on your channel, we'll do it on your channel. See you guys.
Good. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.